There we go. Okay, I think that's it. So we are recording now, and today I'm interviewing Nick with Pixil Agency about his new app, and it's launching on Kickstarter very soon. So we're going to jump right into it. So Nick, hello, and thanks for taking some time to talk to me about your new app and your agency. So we'll get right into the questions that I sent to you.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay, so why did you create the app? And what exactly is it? And just why you thought there was a need for the app right now.
Right, so I guess with any good project or product that you launch, right, there's got to be a problem. And so for me being a surfer and my friends, my peers, we don't really have anything that allows you to log your sessions. So I'm also a runner. I just ran a half marathon a couple weeks ago, and I used the Nike Plus app, and I got a lot of inspiration for that. So Surfr allows you to do just that, log your sessions, and also share your sessions with your peers, your friends.
Right. So you'll be, and just in the details of the app, then a little bit. It looks like on the screen you can see. So you'll be able to log like how big the waves are, and some other details about the location. It looks like. So
Right.
that's really cool. You did. Go ahead.
I can kind of take you through the process if you'd like me to. As
Yeah,
far
let's
as,
yeah, let's
yeah.
do that. I think that would be really cool. And you described it as I forget a foursquare and like a what did you say? I forget how you said it. Four
Yeah. So
foursquare meets what?
right. So it's a kind of a compilation of like Surfline, which is a surf report app, Foursquare, which is a check-in app, Facebook, which is a timeline and sharing app, and then also Instagram, which is photo sharing.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it's really just kind of all of the above.
Okay.
And the process is such that you show up to a location, or you locate yourself, and then you see that there are multiple surf breaks near you, and then you can check in. And
Okay.
so you click the check-in button, and what that does is it actually pulls in the report for that day. So in the screenshot there, you see it's 4 to 6 feet, and 6 feet in the swell direction is kind of where the arrow is pointing. So it's actually it's coming from the northeast. And then the middle one is at 10 seconds, which is the period of the swell. And then in the water, you'll see it's 78 degrees, and above the air temperature, 81 degrees, and also the wind speed, which is 8 miles per hour out of the southwest.
Awesome. So
So
if you got up early and you found a killer wave, then you'd not only be logging that for your own kind of um, timeline, but also to let others know about the spot, maybe. So it's kind of a the social surfer, right?
yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
so if you followed me, for instance, and
Yeah.
you subscribe to my feed,
Yep.
you could be laying in bed at 8 a.m. and see that I checked in at 7:30 a.m. and you get a notification, and you're like, or excuse me, you'll get a check-in at 7:30, and then you get a notification. You're like, oh shoot, Nick just checked in at the breakers. Like maybe I should get out of bed and go surf
Right,
because
right.
it's probably
That's kind of how
so.
I was seeing it, as kind of like that's how we do with Foursquare or Facebook kind of check-ins to see what's going on there currently, and if it's a good day enough to make that effort to skip what you were doing to go surf or whatever. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
awesome. Okay, that's awesome. It sounds like you've really thought through the problems of not only the app itself, but the social environment, and also you said the physical part of it is logging it so you know your history, and you can move on if you're playing any kind of endurance aspect of that too. So I think that's really awesome from that point of view. And we'll just move on to the next question then. That's kind of, I think, part of what inspired you to create it. So what was the motivation for really pulling this off and putting all this hard work into getting this launched?
Yeah, so for me, it was, and for the company, I guess, looking at like the how viable this might be is really just kind of like going to the market and get customer validation for it. And 100% of the time, all my surfing peers and people that I don't even know that I just walked up to on the beach. So like I would absolutely 100% love something like that. Um, so that was kind of the motivation for it. It's like,
Okay.
okay, this is totally viable. Like let's make this because we're like solving a problem, and we're really enriching the lives of the surfing community.
Awesome. And the next question was on the actual name. So I think it's an awesome name, Surfr. It's just kind of says what it is. It's unique enough. It's kind of, it's out there. And so just how did you come up with that? And I did Google it. I saw some other names and blogs and different things with that. But what made you decide on that as the final name?
Yeah, so Surfr is kind of like a continuation with just the R of our app portfolio as a company. We have an app called Prompter, Promtr. That's a teleprompter app for the
Oh,
iPad.
okay. Okay, great.
Yeah, so and we also designed another app called Mixer, Mixr, which is a DJ application for the iPad. So this is just kind of
Oh,
like
great.
the next progression of like, okay, this is Surfr, right?
All right.
And and it
Yeah, I
and
totally missed that
yeah,
in your portfolio of brands. So that's good.
so it worked out well. And the other thing too is like, and I'm no like IP expert or trademark expert, although I have tried to trademark things on my own, and I've kind of learned from my experiences. But Surfer, the word Surfer, Surfer, is a it's a dictionary word. It's very generic, so nobody really owns a trademark on Surfer. Um, you can trademark like the stylization and stuff of
Yeah.
words like that, but
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a good fit because it was just generic, and I feel like I probably won't have too many legal issues there.
Right. Well, it's got its foundation in a generic name, but the way that you did it is fanciful. It's totally unique
Exactly.
because it says it speaks to what it is, but it's definitely a new word. So
Yeah.
people recognize it for being the actual word surfer, but it's definitely a made up word, which helps you
Yeah.
out a little bit with that. So that's good. Um, Okay, so the next question was about the whole Kickstarter campaign and why you decided and why you set the goals and just why you decided to launch it through Kickstarter. And we know that this whole the use of Kickstarter and crowdfunding is really popular in getting crowd support. So how you see the role maybe of Kickstarter in your company's launching of other apps and uh, trying to use that maybe to learn the learn the system a little bit and learn the kinks to help others out. And I think this could be really critical in how other brands launch in the future. So maybe you could share your insight on that and some lessons about launching the brand on Kickstarter.
Yeah. So Kickstarter is kind of the poster child for crowdfunding. I mean, I don't know if they were the first, but they definitely have the media's attention.
Yeah,
Um, and so that's probably the highest priority for me is like we want to get exposure for this thing, and we need to raise $50,000. So as far as who do we go with, Kickstarter just made the most sense. And another thing that I've found through launching on Kickstarter is that you really have to you have to be aware of so many different variables and so many different things, and you really just have to think about a lot when you're launching on a platform like Kickstarter because um, if you're trying to raise $50,000, you need to come across really polished, really clean, super professional, really credible, and so that kind of like challenges you to develop the brand and make it that because you're literally pitching yourself in a video.
yeah.
Um,
So
and
that's what I was
so
hoping. I was hoping we'd be able to see it, but it's not ready yet, and the incentives aren't there yet. So
right.
we'll get it soon, I'm sure. But I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
it's
mean by
an
the time
awesome.
by the time you post this, it'll be live.
Okay.
um, but that I think for me that's kind of like the foundation for all of this is like if you're gonna raise $50,000, well you really need to to challenge yourself to be a $50,000 brand.
Yeah,
And
and then
people
some, right? Because that's
yeah,
just
and
a
then some
start. So
exactly. Um, and that, that isn't always the case, but that's definitely something that I've been cognizant of, and I've
Yeah.
done a lot of research on like successful Kickstarter campaigns. And Tim Ferriss has a great blog post. Um, I forget the title of it. It's I think it's like overcoming Kickstarter or something like that. But how to raise like $100,000 in 2 weeks, and it takes you through like a case study of a water filtration product that he was a part of, and just kind of like all of their learnings and lessons and like this whole workflow for launching on Kickstarter. So it was pretty cool. And the
It's
other thing that, go ahead.
no, I was going to say it's about building your community. So
Yeah.
how obviously I think you're doing a really good job already, and you've got media support. You're talking to people. You're you know like you said, you're actually approaching people about it, and you're doing all the grassroots marketing that companies kind of have that big question mark on how to do. And it's some old traditional methods, and then combining with digital media. And like you said, this Kickstarter is a way for us to see something visible in a video in a format that's trusted. And I think that's a big key too that you mentioned, building trust and credibility. And that once a company launches out into a platform like Kickstarter or some of the others, that there's some inherent trust. But still, there's more than that. Like, you still have to, once they can watch it, but then they have to donate the money. And then,
Yeah.
so that will be interesting to watch how you build the community behind, actually getting people to give money towards this. So I know I have a slide on some of the incentives, so that this is kind of where we're at now, and looking at how the format of the site is built, and getting people involved. So I'm sure some of your expertise in video and web design, obviously the logo is very professional, and I'm sure all your links are going to work, and your story is going to be on point, so that kind of builds credibility for you. So I'm sure you thought through all this. Maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So there's definitely a progression of like filling out the Kickstarter application and form, and you can see kind of in this screenshot the guidelines, basic, rewards, story, about you, account, review. We're in the review stage right now, and this is probably the biggest learning for me, or biggest takeaway, is that I want to definitely encourage everybody to kind of go through this early on. Like, if you're just thinking about a Kickstarter, just like um, kind of start reading through the guidelines, and look at other Kickstarter campaigns, and start filling this information out. We had a little hiccup with Amazon in trying to get our account set up, and so that was like a day that set us back a day. And then now with the review process, we've submitted, and it's on day 3 now. So it may take up to a week to actually get approved. So if you have like a set launch date in mind, you should probably be doing all of this a week and a half or 2 weeks prior. So
Okay.
that's
So,
a good takeaway. Yeah.
so you're basically launching your brand the same time as you're launching the Kickstarter campaign. Is that, or not so much, because you have it on Facebook and so people are talking about
Oh,
it?
no,
But
no, no, no. Yeah, no, the brand and like the story that you're crafting, and reaching out to all of your contacts, and just kind of leveraging your social networks. Um, we started that probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. So when we felt like we had a solid video draft, and that we felt really good about the brand design, that's when we started showing it off, and like really kind of taking that risk, because, and it is a risk, because you're even showing off design and interface, screenshots like you see in this illustration here, um, of the check-ins and stuff like that. And that's something that a lot of people ask me, like, are you scared that Surfline or somebody's gonna like take your idea? Well, the answer is no. I mean, they could, but it doesn't really matter, because ultimately we're gonna be launching on here, and if we get $50,000, $100,000 in funding, then we're well on our way. And it's not just the money; it's we've built this network and this community that want to see us succeed, because they're
Right.
invested in it. So I think that's kind of the beauty of Kickstarter is really that community, and you kind of alluded to that early on. But um, that's probably the biggest opportunity, and what keeps us motivated to give them the absolute best. And what I mean by that is not just our video. We didn't want to just produce the best video, but also like the best awards or rewards, and then giving them timely updates and just really keeping them engaged. And so the rewards, I mean, just the rewards alone took about a week to kind of solidify. I reached out to GoPro and Freestyle and Zeal Optics and Surfrider Foundation and Waves for Water and like all these foundations, and um, I mean just that in itself and getting a response is going to take you some time. So
Yeah, I had a feeling that you had some really cool things ready for the incentives, and that was one of the last questions. Was actually looking at the incentives. Are you telling? Maybe you've already mentioned a little bit, but can you give us an idea of some of the incentives when somebody
yeah,
donates?
so
Well, they're not donating, right? They're what's the right kind of word that you say when they're funding it, right?
right. So the people that are backers, so like
Backers. Okay.
let's say you donate or back $25, like that's your pledge, right?
Yeah.
So you may receive a T-shirt, like a Surfer T-shirt, or maybe a Surfer coffee mug, which you've got the screenshot up here. Um, and this is kind of the back of the coffee mug. We wrote a little note on it, and we really just wanted to personalize it so you can see like project backed by you, and just kind of like really heighten that emotional element because I'm definitely aware that look, the people that are probably backing this aren't all going to be surfers. Um, so it's like, well, how do we create an incentive that's still meaningful, even if they just like the project,
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. Great.
so yeah, that's definitely a good takeaway too.
Okay. Let's see. So our last little takeaway was, what you'd like the people who are watching this to do, and how can they get involved. I guess that's pretty basic, but maybe you could just say that in your own words. And then, what other projects can we see from your agency in the future?
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would definitely encourage everybody to check it out. I mean, the video we worked really hard on. It took us about a month to produce, and I literally like flew to Hawaii and I've been kind of Nicaragua and California and all over shooting footage. Um,
That's
so
a pretty good work trip, though.
yeah. If anything, it's definitely going to be entertaining and fun.
Good, good.
But if you like the project, definitely check out the rewards because the rewards are going to be pretty cool. And we're kind of in a unique position too because our agency does 3D printing and we have 3 MakerBot replicators and the Replicator 2. So we're going to be giving away some 3D printed products, which is kind of cool. I don't know if that's ever really been done on Kickstarter before, so that's kind of neat.
That's
Um,
great.
and as far as the agency, I mean, other than client work, I mean, this is really our primary focus. We want to, we want to just blow this out. And we want to bring in awesome products to the marketplace. Um, but we're constantly working on design projects and video projects and
Yeah.
animation projects, and it's just a lot of fun. We're definitely fortunate to be able to do that. So.
Well, I would think that agencies looking to, or companies looking to launch some brands would look to you for some assistance with their Kickstarter campaigns because it looks like it's going to be an awesome campaign and a great way to launch your brand. So I wish you luck, and hopefully we can do this again when it maybe after it kicks off, and you can share some insights once you're kind of off that launching pad.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm definitely a little nervous about it, but I guess that's one thing I've told everybody is I'm truly grateful for the support and the turnout. We did a video premiere last week on Thursday, so a week ago today, and had the mayor come out, the city mayor and a couple other city officials, and just the support from people that I've never met, and then all of my friends and just people that I haven't seen in a while. So it was really good to see that, and if that's any kind of indication of where the Kickstarter project might be, then I think we're going to be in really good shape, and we're excited
Good.
for that. So.
Good. Well, I wish you the best, and I look forward to talking to you the next time.
Thanks, Ken.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks.